Hello everyone and welcome to Inspiring Best Living, where we talk about wealth creation, wellness and well-nourished soul. My name is Remi Wesley Ogude, your regular host. I'm very glad to be back on another episode of Wealth Creation series. Today, the topic is breaking the paycheck cycle. Some people think the way life is designed is to live perpetually on paycheck. Nothing can be further from the truth. Dave Ramsey said something that an average American worker is 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy. That tells you how severely people rely on paycheck. A lot of people just think the only way to survive is to live on paycheck, go to work 5 days in a week, perpetually for the rest of their lives. That is not the way. There is better life than that. I'm not saying that it's a wrong thing to do that. Work is good. We work because we want to earn a living. I do work as well as I'm talking to you, but what I'm saying is that it's a good place to start, but it's not a good place to end because of the so many different implications for our financial future. The question you want to first ask is this: why do people stay on their paycheck and not think of doing other things alongside with their work? There are so many reasons. I'll just highlight a few here. Number one, ignorance, like I said. Some people think that's just the way it is. They've been wired to believe that. I've been wired to believe that too. I have stayed long on my paycheck for a long time before I began to think, what else could I do apart from this? Because it wasn't just meeting my financial goals. That ignorance is systemic. The system also is designed to make you feel the best way to approach life is to go to school. Our parents, our family members, even the system, everybody has taught us, go to school, which is good. I have degrees as well. I encourage people to go to school because no matter what you still do in life, going to school will position you well to be successful. So that's number one. The only thing is that going to school is going to be a good foundation to lay your wealth creation journey, but it's just not going to be the end of it. The second reason why people are just relying on paycheck is because the economy is also designed in a way to tie payments around our paycheck. For instance, just look at different ways through which you have to pay, or different people you're going to pay to. You discover that people tie it around end of the month, or depending on what you're going to pay for. Sometimes if you want to pay your mortgage, you pay it once in a month. They're waiting for you to collect your salary and you pay. You want to pay your insurance, it's the same. You want to pay for a car loan, it's the same. People are waiting for you to get your paycheck and give them their own portion. You want to pay for even your phone bills and some other bills. Sometimes you have to just pay it at the end of the month because everybody thinks if you are working, you need to have something at the end of the month. Even if you are paid bi-weekly, you pay some of those bills at the end of the month. Work is good, like I said. It entitles you to a lot of benefits. However, there is a better word than just working. We work, then also do other things so that we can make ends meet. The third reason why people are stuck with paycheck and they don't think of doing any other thing outside of that is financial illiteracy. Have been there. Having academic and professional background does not really mean you have financial literacy. I've had degrees in finance, I've had degrees in MBA, but that didn't solve my financial problem. I still struggled financially, even after I became a registered nurse as well, until I understood what financial literacy meant, and I began to embark on the journey of financial independence. I'm not saying that I'm an expert yet, or I have arrived, or I've known it all. I'm still on the journey. But the truth is that it's not the same as the way I started. I've gained a lot of knowledge in this area and I'm still growing. It's a lifelong learning and I'm grateful to God that I began the journey. So financial illiteracy is one of the reasons why people do not aspire to do any other thing apart from their normal job, which gives them paycheck at the end of the month. Another reason is lack of skill or skills that are required to embark on the journey of financial independence. We might need more than the skills that we are using on our regular job for our financial independence. We need different skills. We need communication skills, which, yes, a lot of times we acquire this in school. We also need problem-solving skills. And when I'm talking about problem-solving skills, different problems you're going to solve on the journey of wealth creation. The problems are not necessarily going to be the same, but as they come, you must be able to have that creative thinking ability to resolve problems and issues right away as they come. You also need skills in different areas, technical skills, entrepreneurial skills. So all of these skills are not all taught in school. So when I talked about financial literacy, that most of those things about financial education are not taught in schools. So if they are not taught in school, and maybe your parents also, if they are not financial literate, they may not have taught you, where else do you get the skills? So that's why having the right skill set is another reason why people are stuck on their paycheck, because they do not have the skills required to be able to do so, or to take both steps to invest or to go out there until those skills are learned. And I'm going to cover that also in this episode on what we can do to be able to acquire different skills or to be able to embark on the journey of financial freedom and to be able to do other things other than our regular job that gives us paycheck at the end of the month. The other one is having an E-quadrant mentality. I call it an E-quadrant mentality because E-quadrant is just being in an employee quadrant, which is a good place to start. I'm an employee as I'm talking to you. I'm also an investor. But the knowledge you have there, you need to build it to be able to create wealth. You need to now convert the high income you're earning, or even if it's low income, start converting it and diverting it into any of the 4 asset classes that generates wealth. I always say it, the 4 asset classes are commodity, real estate, paper assets, and business. So if you have E-quadrant mentality and you don't think outside of that, it may limit you from embarking on the journey of financial independence, and it may keep you perpetually on paycheck. The other quick point I want to mention is bad debt. Bad debt makes people to stay on a quadrant because they have no idea of how to pay their debt. They keep piling up debt, and the system is designed in a way that because people rely solely on their paycheck, if they cannot pay out of it, they just design a debt program for them through which the money will be taken from their salary little by little until they're able to pay it all. And the other thing that is added to that is interest payments on those debts until your debt is settled. So that's another reason. Another one is high personal income tax. Makes people to think the only way to beat that tax payment is to increase their number of hours and make more money. What they don't know is that as they make more money, they also will pay more tax. They are thrown into a high income, high tax bracket. So it is important for us to be able to understand this so we know how to go about solving this problem. What I want to talk about now is what are the different challenges of living from paycheck to paycheck. Living from paycheck to paycheck, it's not going to secure our financial destiny. It's not going to help us in the long run. It may be good because we're able to pay bills now, we're able to get comfortable. That is if we are earning well. If you are not earning well, you may not even be able to pay all your bills. So you may just be living from hands to mouth if you are barely surviving. But if you are earning well, you can be comfortable. That's the most you can do. You may not be able to create a lasting wealth even when your income is high, because it's not the same. High-paying job is not the same as having financial freedom, because there's a lot to financial freedom. You have legacy, you can pass on your wealth to your generation. But when it's just job, except your child wants to take up that very job, it may not be easy to pass it on to your child. And the other one, which is another limitation of paycheck, is not being prepared, the high risk of having financial crisis, just in case somebody loses his job. We can do all we can, get promotion, certification, degrees, try to climb the corporate ladder. But I always ask people, what if the owner of the ladder takes the ladder? People lose their job. There's no job that is absolutely secure. Even the best of jobs, people still lose those jobs. So jobs that you get paychecks on sometimes may not allow you to have enough savings if you are just barely surviving, and you need buffer. You need something to cushion you in case of crisis. Crises do happen. People don't pray for it. People don't anticipate. But people have problems. They have problems in their marriage. They get divorced. Before they share the assets, they need to quickly get something on, to be able to fall back on. People have health crises that they don't anticipate on. If they don't have savings, if their regular paycheck work does not give them enough to save and to be able to cushion them, and at that time they're having financial struggles, that may throw them into financial mess. So there are different reasons why this is not very safe to rely on paycheck alone. The other reason why it is not good is that it can't allow you to live your life on your own terms. You cannot live your unlived life with a paycheck job. When I'm talking about unlived life, I'm talking about life that you love to enjoy, assuming you have all your bills settled. We all look forward to this kind of, life where we are free to do what we want to do and money will not stop us. When you put your money at work and your money is working for you, you can choose to impact lives. You can choose to travel, to explore the world. You can choose to do things that are of importance to you. You can choose to spend time with your family and loved ones more because you have put your money at work. Your money is working for you. But if you are working a regular paycheck work, or you're doing a 9-to-5 job where you are just getting paycheck at the end of the month, that is not even sufficient, you will not be able to have time to live your unlived life because you'll be stuck with the work, and the work can be so tiring. Sometimes the work can take a whole lot of you that you will not be able to do that. Another reason is that it can make one mortgage his future. The person will not have time to actually embark on a journey of financial independence that can help you to have a great plan for your financial future. So it's so very important. I haven't said this about paycheck. Like I said, paycheck is also good. I also get paycheck as I'm still talking to you. It's just like that's not the only thing I get. And if you are among that category of people who rely on paycheck, it's not to despise you, it's to just encourage you that I'm also there. I've been there where that's all I had. But I've also moved and transitioned to getting other passive income. And I'm encouraging you. The reason for the video is to also help you set your thinking on what you can begin to do, no matter how little, to begin to make supplemental income apart from your job. How can you begin to take steps to gradually do some other things that can give you cash flow or other income than paycheck? The first one is to be able to desire strongly to break away. That's the first thing. Desire. Let your why be strong. I like the way Jim Rohn put it. He said, when your why is strong enough, then your how gets easier. So the starting point is making your why to be strong. The reason why you want to be financially free, where you want to live above paycheck, where you want to begin to put other passive income aside so that you can replace your earned income. The second one is determined to live your unlived life. It's a determination. I told you I've been there where all I had was my earned income, but I know that my life is also for impact. I wanted to do some other things with my life. That determination set me on the race to begin to do other things and see how I could create wealth other than my regular earned income. So make sure you also determine to pay the price for financial freedom so that you can also live your unlived life. That's the second one. The third one is that you have to get over your bad debts. You have to pay your bad debts. How you going to do it? You can adopt different means. I had to do that also. When I had loan, I had to pay by doing extra shift over time. I worked so hard, but I was able to pay my debts. That really helped me. It can help anyone. You won't mind if you have to do just temporarily some extra shift, some extra side hustles to be able to pull out money to pay the bad debts, to begin to settle. After you pay the bad debts, you can now think of doing some other investment that can bring cash flow to you. So that's the third one. The fourth one is set aside money for emergency fund. When you have emergency fund, during any financial crisis, you can have something to tap on rather than going into debt. Because when it's debt, you have to be paying interest, and that also compounds the financial struggle in the long run. So you want to begin to set aside money for emergency fund that you can use to cushion yourself during any emergency or any financial crisis you find yourself in. The next point, which is going to be the last point, is try to begin to think of replacing your income with passive income. I've said it, you can look into any of the 4 asset classes. Which one do you prefer to start on? Is it the business? Is it commodity? Is it real estate or paper asset? Which one are you comfortable to start with? No matter how little, how small, you can begin, even if it's going into business that you're comfortable with. In one of my episodes, I talked about different business opportunities that are open to people who don't have huge capital to start with, but who can start something. With that, you can begin to increase your capital to now go into mega business or business that you will need loan on, and you can approach your family or your bank for that. So at least the most important thing is start. No matter how small, begin to start. As I'm going to round up, I want to just mention that in the school of wealth, it's poor thinking habits that keep people from being wealthy more than poor working habits. Sometimes it's not the poor working habits that keep people from being wealthy. It is poor thinking habits. Thinking is a priority in the school of wealth. So the more we think, the more we are open to wide varieties of ideas that can help us on our journey to earn more and earn better, other than our regular salary from our job, which is paycheck. So I'm going to draw the curtain here today. I want to just remind you that this platform is to inspire you in 3 areas: wealth creation, wellness, and well-nourished soul. Remember, you don't have to choose between being healthy and wealthy. You can have both as icing on the cake of your well-nourished soul. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to share the video and the link with your friends, family, and loved ones, and those you think can benefit from it. And do not forget to please subscribe by pressing the notification button so you can be notified right away once I produce a new episode. Till I come again your way, I am your regular host, Remi Wesley Ogude. Take care and bye.